The Group CEO of our partner Nation Media, Mr. Stephen Gitagama, the Director, African Director of AU IBA, Madam Dr. Huyam Salih, Gatsby Africa, Country Director Sam Karevi, USAID Representative Andrew McCowan, who we co-chair the Agriculture Sector Development Partners organization with, my colleagues from the ministry, strategic partners, exhibitors, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning again. I'm very happy to be here with you today as we launch this year's third edition of the Kenya Meat Expo. You realize the theme for this year is revolutionizing the meat industry for bottom-up economic transformation agenda. This, in plain English, means we are commercializing the livestock sector. There's a lot of initiatives that are being done to create an economic activity around livestock. We've heard here that livestock generates about 12% into our GDP. And the GDP really measures economic growth. Therefore, our economic transformation for livestock, we would like that to grow from 12% to about 20%, which then will bring significant growth to our livestock sector. As we embark on commercializing this sector, we have taken a value chain approach so that we can bring all actors from production to aggregation to value addition and manufacturing all the way to the market together, connect the dots, as Sam Karevi said, and work as one unit so that we can commercialize our sector and put money into the pockets of all the actors in this sector, create jobs, and develop a viable export development plan. So we started this journey of commercializing our sector from the market. We wanted to understand demand-supply dynamics. So we've done a route-to-market strategy for the meat sector so that we can really understand what is the size of the market, where are the opportunities, who are the players in this market, what part of that market can we attain our market share, and what is it we need to do to break the barriers of entry into this market. And what we found, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, it is a huge market. There's big demand globally for animal-based protein, meat, and dairy. And as Kenya, we are strategically placed because we already have the resources, 22 million herds of cattle, over 35 million goats, 24 million sheep. We have the resources. What is it that we need to do to produce what the market wants? We found the market wants quality beef products or meat products. It wants quantity, so the huge quantities, and it wants those both things consistently so that we don't provide a product today and then tomorrow it's not available. That has now led us to make some very key strategic interventions in the production sector so that we can ensure that our Kenyan farmers and producers can produce exactly what the market needs. To do this, we worked with all stakeholders. We put together academia, research institutions, market players. A lot of you here are the market players out in industry. government and semi-autonomous government agencies, development partners, all in one room where we're able to think very deeply about the interventions that we need to ensure that we produce for the market, and we produce competitively in a sustainable manner. We discovered 3 things. Number 1, we urgently need to improve the breed of our animals. We need to improve the breed so that we get breeds that produce optimally productivity in the environment we have here in Kenya, especially in the northern region where a lot of our livestock is found. Breeds that can go from birth to slaughter weight quickly with very little investment in feed. Breeds that are drought resistant, disease resistant, and breeds that can gain the weight that we need very quickly. We put together a team that was headed by an organization called KAGRIC, Kenya Animal Genetic Resources Center, an organization within the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, who do multiplication of animal semen. We put together people from the university, people from ILRI, International Livestock Research Institution, KALRO, the Kenya Agricultural Research Organization, and some development partners, and the breeding associations. And with that, we've been able to come up with a national breed improvement program, which we are now executing. We now understand which breeds to promote. The indigenous Boran breed is a very good breed that we have here in Kenya that we've not marketed enough. A lot of the countries globally have come here, gotten our genetics for the Boran, developed those genetics, and now are claiming the Boran as theirs. We need to reclaim Boran as an indigenous Kenyan breed that produces quality beef for the market. Secondly, we spoke about issues feed. Feed has been a big thorn in the flesh of our industry. We faced drought. The worst drought in 40 years was just a few years ago. It claimed 2.5 million herds of cattle, worth about 500 billion shillings. And a lot more when you look at the cattle that survived but lost significant weight. So we have put very specific interventions in the animal feed and fodder area of livestock. We have now developed, as a State Department of Livestock, a national feed, animal feed balance sheet so that we can monitor the amount of feed that we are producing. We are working with several partners, the RAFS project here by AU IBA. We are working with FAO, the Food and Agricultural Organization, on the hand-in-hand program. We are working with Gatsby on animal feed as well. We are working with Kenya Development Corporation through one of the projects in my State Department called DRIVE, De-risking Investments and Value Enhancement, that works in 23 of the ASAL counties, where we are de-risking private sector to entice them to come into commercial feed and fodder production. We are extending loans from government through KDC of under 10% with up to 24 months, grace period over 10 years, something that you won't find in the commercial banking ecosystem, so that we can invite investors to come and fix our animal feed deficit, ensure that our animals have adequate feed, and lower the cost of production so that we can be competitive, both here locally and globally, with our animal products. With this program, we are also offering large tracts of government land that have been lying idle and unproductive. A few months ago, our cabinet, chaired by His Excellency President Ruto, approved a program called the Land Commercialization Initiative, where we're able to offer to private sector large tracts of land for fodder and pasture production for our animals. I think we need to do more, especially in the storage and post-harvest losses in animal feed. Just yesterday and the day before, we were in Laikipia with the Gates Foundation. I see Obai Khalifa here, Gatsby, and private sector, and several other livestock stakeholders, where we were working on developing a national beef strategy. And we saw lots and lots of grass this high in Laikipia, everywhere we drove. My friends, when it dries up around October, if we don't harvest this grass, we bale it, we pellet it, we store it, it will all be gone. And we'll be facing another drought where we lose our animals. So we need to figure out how to harvest that and ensure that we mitigate on post-harvest losses. The third intervention is around animal health. We all know a sick animal is not just bad for human consumption, but it's very bad for trade. We are working with the counties and have agreed with them on how to implement a national vaccination program, which will be coordinated by national government with a partnership of all the counties. We want to eradicate FMD disease in our cows and PPR in our sheep and goat. Indeed, the AU IBA has a program that's funded by the European Commission to eradicate PPR in all of Africa, and we've been speaking with Dr. Huyam here how we are going to plug in and ensure that our country can gain from that program. So we will be vaccinating all our cattle, all our goats, all our sheep, and indeed, President Ruto pronounced himself on Madaraka Day on the same program. We've already designed it, and the rollout is in process. We also need to take care of other diseases, like were mentioned here by the gentleman from KMC, ticks, worms, and just general animal husbandry to ensure that our cattle, our goats, our sheep, our pigs, camels, and all other value chains reach the productivity levels that would like to enable us to play in the global market. These three initiatives are critical to ensure that we meet what the market wants: quality, quantity, consistently. And with that, we will become a major player as Kenya in the global livestock market. There are some enablers that we have come up with, again, as government and other stakeholders, to ensure that we support these three initiatives. Number one is legislation. We've developed a livestock bill that is very progressive, that has all the input of stakeholders, that will work to commercialize our livestock sector. Some highlights of this bill is to anchor into law some of our institutions, like the Meat Training Institute, the Livestock Training Institute, the Animal Health and Industry Health Institute, AHITI, and other institutes that we have, National Beekeeping Institute. Our farms, anchor them in law so that we can use them to produce human resource that can go out there in the sector to enable them to produce and produce competitively. With this livestock bill, we are creating something that has been largely missing in our livestock sector, a livestock marketing council that will be largely led by the private sector and ensure that we can position our country as a premium beef, goat, red meat, poultry producer globally. So with that, we'll need to brand our livestock, like we've branded our livestock products, like we've branded our coffee and our tea. We'll need to market it. We'll need to promote it for export. And we'll need a stamp of quality so that the whole world can know that if you're getting livestock products from Kenya, you're getting a quality product. So that is coming in the livestock bill. It was passed in cabinet a few months ago. It has gone through the Attorney General in a record 1 month, and it is now in Parliament. Just yesterday, I spoke with the leader of majority, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, and he promised me once he's done with the finance bill, he's going to prioritize the passing in Parliament of the livestock bill so it can be assented into law and it can govern our industry. Another enabler that we are very proud of that has been elusive for the last 14 years is a livestock identification and traceability system. We all know now globally traceability is extremely important for food items and the food system, and countries are not going to import your products if you cannot trace them to the farm from where they came from. So we are going to get a system in the next few months. The tendering process is underway, and once we get a suitable vendor, we will be rolling out livestock identification and traceability, which will register all our livestock as resources. It will be able to track the feeding regimes, the nutrition regimes of our livestock. It will be able to track disease control in terms of deworming, cattle dipping for ticks, vaccinations, and all of that. And we'll get a digital ID of our livestock so that once you take your cow to the slaughterhouse, you have a certificate in which you can show how you have bred your livestock, and that will ensure that you get premium shilling, or if you're exporting, premium dollar for your livestock. So it's a game changer for us. It will also solve a security issue that this country has struggled with since independence, called cattle rustling. That will now be something of the past with this system. Lastly, as an enabler, we want to make policies as government based on evidence, based on research. So we've partnered very closely with our research institutions, the international one, ILRI, the local one, CALRO, and our universities, to ensure that we don't just do research for teaching, but we do research that can be applied in industry, so that we can use that research to guide, if it's fodder and pasture production, what varieties should we use? If it's breed improvement, what should we do? If it's vaccinations for our vaccine producers and manufacturers, how are we able to get this to market and do research for improved vaccines quickly and bring down the cost so that our farmers can be able to put more money in their pockets. So ladies and gentlemen, a lot is going on in our livestock sector, and I just want to assure all of you that government has a very strong focus under our bottom-up economic transformation agenda on livestock, because we understand that livestock is a very easy way to distribute wealth and reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. So we are committed. We'll work with all of you. I just want, as I conclude, to thank the organizing committee who organized this third Meat Expo with Mr. Makoha here, and your co-chair from the Nation Media Group, and all our other partners, exhibitors, sponsors, the industry for just coming to be with us today and over the next 3 days. Asanteni sana, we don't take your presence here for granted. I bring greetings from our minister, the Honorable Mithika Linturi. Tomorrow we have a very big field day in Meru for the Meru Dairy Cooperative, Meru Central Dairy Cooperative, which His Excellency the President will be gracing in Meru, where our ministry is putting together through the Kenya Dairy Board 20,000 farmers to sensitize them about our dairy industry and what it is we'd like to do to expand dairy as a priority value chain under our economic transformation agenda. So we agreed today to split so that I can officiate this function where he was supposed to be giving these remarks, and he goes to Meru to prepare the ground for the farmers and for His Excellency the President. So he brings his greetings, and he assures you also as a livestock subsector, all his regards and his commitment in growing this subsector. With those very, very many remarks, I'd like to wish you a good 3 days of networking, of learning, of closing deals, of ensuring we're able to connect the dots all the way from production, enhancing our value addition. I realize there's a lot of technology and meat processors who are exhibiting here who can really help the farmers offtake their products much quickly. And also market linkages through Chemlec. My friend Nick spoke here earlier. You're doing a good job in promoting export of our products. Let's just ensure that the quality is guaranteed always, and that we don't let down our customers abroad who have a lot of faith in our meat. I hereby now declare the 3rd Kenya Meat Expo 2024 officially open.